everybody, it's Trevor with Salt City Drum Smokers and Drum Smoker TV. Hey, we did an awesome video a little while back about how to light a drum smoker in a Salt City drum smoker. And today we want to kind of follow up with that and teach you guys how to properly run a drum smoker, and specifically a Salt City drum smoker, the greatest drum smoker on earth. So what we're looking at right here is we have an exhaust. We have an air intake. We also have our thermometer here, our big old True thermometer. So what are we doing? These are an air moving machine, okay? So we really want to cook with some lump charcoal. I like the hotness of it and everything like that. But we need to get air into that charcoal basket. And how are we going to get air into that charcoal basket to feed that fire is with the intake right here. So this is your gas pedal. This, as you can see, I have a dirty fire here on purpose to kind of show you what happens when I start moving this around here. So you're gonna see the air velocity really slow down. It's kind of puffing now, but I open that up and she's got a nice swirl going on with it. So we're gonna run our exhaust all the way open. And we're going to control our temperatures with this intake here. By reducing the amount of air going into the fire, it is naturally going to reduce the temperature of the smoker. Our Salt City drum smokers really like to run at about, the ideal temperature range is about 200 to 300 degrees. You can get them way hotter than that if you want to. It's really just building that fire in the beginning. The hotter you want to go, let that thing, leave the lid off from it a little bit longer. And you know, in the video I talk about, 5 minutes or so. Leave it off about 10 to 15 minutes, and then start putting your diffuser plate in there. Let it go for another 5 minutes or so, and then put your lid on it. One thing you don't want to do with our drum smokers is once you put that lid on, you don't want to close this down drastically. So you're going to put your lid on and you're going to watch this thing, and your temperatures are going to climb. They're going to climb. Let them kind of climb, see where they want to be at naturally, and then make some air adjustments here. Small. They don't need to be big. You don't want to choke your fire off or anything like that. It's small adjustments. Wait 10 to 15 minutes, see what the smoker does. You're still running hot. Well, bring her down a little bit more, shut her down a little bit more, and keep on doing that until you get it to your temperature that you want to be at to cook for your particular cook and that particular protein. So when you're talking about temperatures and different proteins and stuff like that, you don't need to run this in this extremely tight window as far as temperatures. I like to say if it's within 25 degrees, my smoker's within 25 degrees of what I'm trying to do for that particular protein and my particular cook schedule. So your cook schedule is going to be dictated by your temperature that you're running at. So if you're running at a higher temperature, well, obviously that cook time is going to condense. If you're cooking at a lower temperature, that timeline is going to extend out. So there are some other things that we really need to look at on these is when you start wanting to put an auto temperature control system on it. What do? Well, first you have to choose which one you want and buy the correct adapter that's going to go into our port here in the rear. So once you have it all hooked up and everything like that, you have to close this down. You no longer need your air intake. See, now that I close that, I have very little air coming through there. But I'm also going to close this down. Let me open this back up so we just got some air going through it. We don't kill our fire here. But I'm gonna close my exhaust down. I'm kind of defeating the purpose of what the exhaust is built to do. It's built to draw air through the smoker. It's going to pull air in there and feed your fire. So when I start forcing air into my smoker, I no longer need a 2-inch exhaust. I need something a lot smaller. Otherwise, all you're going to do is blow all the heat out, and your auto temperature control system is really going to play this constant game of catch up. It's never going to really run where you want it to run at. So you hook up your auto temperature control system, you're going to close your intake off, and you're going to close your exhaust down to about halfway. So those are kind of the basics of how you run a drum smoker. It's air in and air out. If you're not running an auto temperature control system, we like to run, and you should be running, your exhaust wide open, and then you're going to control your temperatures with your intake. Once it kind of naturally plateaus and you figure out where it wants to run at, and some of that has to do with how big the fire you build in it when you're initially starting it. And I like to always build a larger fire than what I need. I would rather run this hot and cool it down than have too small of a fire and playing this constant game of catch up. All right, so today we kind of covered how to run a Salt City drum smoker. It's air in and it's air out. Your temperature control adjustments are going to be made by your air intake, whether that's 1 or 2. We only think you need 1, but that's up to you. And then you're going to run your exhaust wide open, unless you have an auto tuning temperature control system on there. So, like I said, we covered how to run a Salt City drum smoker, and I just want to say thank you. And if you like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, let us know how we're doing at Drum Smoker TV. Thank you.